Out here in the Arizona desert, it's November and it's already 87 degrees out here. Really is a beautiful place. Really is. Oh, and guess what? It's my birthday. Hi everyone, it's Scott, and yes, today I'm 53 years old. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, me. And on a day like this, when I'm thinking about beginnings, I thought, what a perfect day to share with you the beginning of Jesus. And as it's described in the first chapter of the book of John. And I hope that you're patient here. I have a little bit to read through that I want to read to you. But there's so much here that I think is relevant to who Jesus is. I can't help but share it with you. So if you'll be patient, let me read this through and then we'll discuss it a little bit. So this is chapter 1, verse 1 in the book of John, and it starts with verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness does not comprehend it. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that through him they might believe. That all through him might believe. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light that gives light to every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become the children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh, and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Well, there you have it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So it's clear that though we do celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus, it's clear that Jesus existed long before his birth here. That he existed from the very, very beginning. So let's take that in. That the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I want you to know that as a Christian, I believe that Jesus is God. That Jesus made everything that we see. That through Jesus, everything that we see, everything that has been made, was made by him, through him. And so you look out at this Arizona desert, and it's beautiful, and it's rugged. Through Jesus, this desert was made. And so what that's stating is that Jesus is the living Word of God. That God embodied a physical body like you and I in the person of Jesus Christ. Now there's many religions that when they think of Jesus, they think of him as perhaps a prophet, or a very good man or a moral person, a moral leader. He's so much more than that. According to the book of John, according to the Bible, Jesus is God the Son, the living Word of God, who took on a body like you and I and lived among us. And those that were with him bore witness of him. They were bearing witness. They were standing up and saying, look, this is what we saw in him. And he said that he's light, the light of men. And I'll get that real quick. It says that he was the light of men, and the light shined in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. That in him was life, and the life was the light of men. That was a true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. And he was in the world, and the world didn't recognize him. Well, some of us have recognized him for who he is. Some of us have recognized him for what he did. Some of us have seen and read what he has done and seen what he's done in our lives. And we recognize him as who he is. God the Son. The Word of God made flesh. God taking on a body and living here among us. Bringing us the message of God. Doing the work of God. Preaching the good news of God. So, I felt I should share that with you as we start our journey of discovery of who Jesus is. This would be a terrific place to start. That God, the Son, Jesus, would come from heaven, take on a body like you and I, live among us, teach us, do the work of God, and then go back and be in heaven with his Father. So when we talk about beginnings, when we talk about birthdays, we may celebrate Jesus' birthday here on earth at Christmas time. We may do that, and it's a good thing to do. But really, Jesus existed long before he arrived here in a baby's body. He existed long before. He is from the very, very beginning. Before there was a beginning. He was the creator of the beginning for all of us. Through him, all things were made. So, that's wonderful news. And it's terrific for us to understand that right out of the gate, right out of the start. Right to begin with. So as we're beginning our journey into learning who Jesus is, it's good that we start at the right place. And that right place is to recognize exactly who he is. Exactly who he is. He is God the Son, the eternal Word of God, through whom all things that we have seen and things that we have not seen have been made. And so we use that as our starting point. And from there we'll learn about what he had to say in his earthly ministry, what he did in his earthly ministry, what work he performed, works he performed, good works that he performed while he was here, and what it is that he asks of us today. It's very good news. And a very good place to start at the very beginning on this day of beginnings. So I hope that was a blessing to you. I hope you learned something here, and feel free to subscribe for more of these as they come out. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you listening. I hope it was a blessing, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.